Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. TheDarkCalamity here, and today what I wanted to do is to talk about the basics of protein. Now this video will be part of probably a three-part series which we are going to look at the three major macros in your diet, which include protein, carbs, and fats. So today what we are going to start with is proteins as the first part of the series, but before we do that, I just want to ask you guys a few questions first. Number one, have you ever been to a gym or fitness center and observed a few people drinking a protein shake out of a shaker bottle and thought to yourself, I wonder why they do that? Number two, why is it that a lot of fitness experts and nutritionists typically recommend a high protein diet in order to live a healthy lifestyle? And finally, number three, which is honestly more of a self-reflecting question. Do I myself eat enough protein on a daily basis? In order to answer these questions, we first need to gain a basic understanding of what protein is. To put it simply, proteins are large molecules that are made up of chains of amino acids. These amino acids come together and form different types of proteins based on the sequence that the amino acids are in. Which simply means that out of all the 10,000 plus proteins we have in the human body, each of those proteins are built differently using the same 20 amino acids, which I'll be putting on the screen right now. Out of those 20 amino acids, 9 of them are considered essential, which means that our body does not produce them naturally in sufficient quantities and therefore need to be supplied through our diet. As for the remaining 11 amino acids, they are considered non-essential, which means that they are produced by our bodies naturally in sufficient quantities and therefore do not need to be supplied through our diet. Sometimes you'll see certain energy drinks and supplements advertise amino acids through either EAAs, which are essential amino acids, or BCAAs, which are branched chain amino acids. However, we will talk more about supplements on a future video, so if you guys want to see that, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications so when that video does come out, you'll be notified of it right away. So back to protein. As I mentioned before, inside the human body there are thousands and thousands types of proteins which aid in different functions. Some of these types include collagen, which aid in tendon, bone, and cartilage health, keratin, which helps in hair, nail, skin, and then you have another type of protein called enzymes, which contribute to what most people know as their metabolism. It helps regulate it. Now, after hearing that piece of information, you are probably thinking to yourself, okay, now that I have a basic understanding of protein, what are the best sources or foods I can eat to get the best protein content? So I'm going to give you guys a few basic suggestions, and remember guys, this is meant to be very basic, so you will have things like egg whites, milk, and regular eggs. When you have things like meats, it's going to be like beef, chicken, pork, fish, etc. Or if you're someone who doesn't like to eat meat, or you're a vegan, you have vegan alternatives such as pea protein powders or just vegan protein powders. So in reality, everyone has an opportunity to get protein in through their diet one way or another, so I would suggest you guys do some research depending on what route you guys want to go on, and if you have some serious conditions, then maybe you can talk to a medical professional and maybe they can point you down the right direction. But I would always recommend starting with research first. Now, I want to take a moment to address why protein is pushed heavily in the fitness community and mainstream media. To answer this, I'll need to answer this in two parts. The first is that when it comes to muscle building, having enough protein in your diet is essential in maximizing your results through the recovery process. What do I mean by this? Well, when engaging in resistance training, such as lifting weights, calisthenics, or CrossFit, your muscle fibers will have micro tears due to the mechanical stress and load you put onto your muscles, and these tears will require time to recover and build back up even stronger. By having enough protein through your diet, it will help in the recovery process because your body will utilize sufficient protein to recover more efficiently as opposed to not having enough protein. This ends up inhibiting or slowing down the recovery process to a small degree. So knowing this fact, we need to ask ourselves something. How much protein do we need then? Well, the internet is kind of divided on this, but The overall recommended amount of protein that is commonly shared throughout the internet is about 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per body weight. Now what I do want to say though is that this can depend on your goals. For example, if your goal is to build muscle, you probably should stick to a similar model like this. But if you're like, for example, an endurance runner, or you don't really hit the weights that much, I would argue you probably won't need as much protein as I'm recommending here, but this is more of a general rule. So always do your research, see what works for you, and the reality is, depending on your needs, you might not need that much protein. So with that, guys, I think I'm going to end it there for part 1. I'll upload part 2 in a few days. So if you enjoyed it, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share it if you want to, and I'll see you guys in a few days. I'll talk to you later. Bye.